owner's condition that would accomplish the goal of public safety as well as to confirm that Mr. Cooper would appear in court. I think the no contact is that lease owner's condition that would allow for Mr. Walton to feel safe, as well as to allow Mr. Cooper to return to court. He does have some medical issues. He was diagnosed with SUNCT syndrome. Admittedly, I'm no doctor. I don't know what all the details are, but I do know that Mr. Cooper takes medication. I also know that he's reported to me that he's been diagnosed with COPD, and all of his oxygen equipment and so on is at his home. Not allowing him to go home would cause issues from a medical standpoint as well. I did also review, I did see that Ian Walton also has a pending case in this county. He has a no contact order with Mr. Cooper as well. And my understanding is Mr. Walton was able to return home at his address. Same as Mr. French, the co-defendant. So I'd ask that Your Honor allow Mr. Cooper to return home. Pending this case, he would certainly abide by any conditions Your Honor would impose. For the reasons stated on the record, we ask that you grant that request.
Have you had a chance to see if the victims contest the modification?
Your Honor, I'm looking, and I apologize. I don't see where our residence department had notified them of this hearing, but I have talked with Mr. Walton prior to the initial arraignment and the court's decision, and he was very strongly opposed to release. He was opposed to release, but also to the defendant being released to his residence, because Mr. Walton lives further down toward the end of the dead-end road. I can't really tell from this map, but it's my understanding he would have to pass by the defendant's house on his way out of the neighborhood. And I would note also there's been a long-standing feud between these two. If the court looks at the civil side of OECI, there's been numerous restraining orders back and forth.
Sorry to cut you off, but as the two of you have talking, I have looked at the case and related cases, and I previously represented Mr. Walton. I don't think I should make the decision in this case, but I realize, Mr. Bridge, you traveled here for this court hearing, so I'm trying to find out if there's another courtroom that can hear this so your time isn't wasted today. But I don't think it would be appropriate for me to make decisions involving a case with Mr. Walton. So I apologize for having you go through your arguments before realizing that. But if you want to have a seat, I'll see if I can find a courtroom for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judge.
And I also wouldn't object if the court needs to set this over to having it done by telephone.
I can do that but let me see first if I can find another judge that's available to hear it.
Is there a way for Mr. Watson to get out of his property directly in front of the Cooper's residence?
No, it's my understanding, David, you can tell me. The only road in and out is this road here?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the issue that I have, though, is Ian has no contact with him as well.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting to me that John French was allowed to return home. Ian was allowed to return home. He's not. When they all pass, those with no contact, he was certified by that. Not the best condition. I think the same conditions, admittedly, that would apply to him also.
Bachart can hear it. She said to go down to courtroom 305.
Yep.
For those of you on the phone line, are they able to connect to our phone line, or should we give them a new number? We have the victims on the phone.
Yes. Ms. Dunnigan, are you on the phone? It may just be Mr. Walton.
Okay. If you'll just listen, if you have something to write down with, we're going to give you a new phone number to call in for the other courtroom. A different judge is going to hear the case.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining the meeting. If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining the meeting.
This is Lynn Howard.
Okay.
We're waiting for the judge.
Slippers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear it.
So if you just give me a second, I'll pull up the case.
I see you, Judge.
Okay, we're on the record. This is State versus David Cooper, 23 CR 27730. So the time set for hearing on a modification of a release agreement. I have Mr. Bridge present, Mr. Cooper, Ms. Howard from the DA's office. Who do I have on the phone?
Ian Walton, Your Honor.
The first victim.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Bridge, this is your motion.
That's correct, Judge. You know, in this case, admittedly, I was not at arraignment. I assume one of the concerns was the proximity that the parties live to one another. I do have an overhead map that I prepared that would show just the layout of this cul-de-sac / dead-end road for Your Honor to review. I'd also point out that the co-defendant, Mr. French, is also on release, and Mr. Walton, the alleged victim, is also on release in his own criminal matter, wherein he has a no-contact order with Mr. Cooper, as well as the co-defendant, John French, in his case. So, as of right now, all three individuals have no contacts with each other. Unfortunately for Mr. Cooper, he's the only one that was not allowed to return home in his release agreement. When I look through, I know Mr. French it was allowed to return home. Mr. Walton was allowed to return home, but Mr. Cooper was not. According to ORS 135245, when imposing release conditions, the court is to impose the lease owner's condition to accomplish two goals: ensure victim safety, as well as to ensure appearance by the defendant. In this case, a simple no contact order would be the lease owner's condition that would apply to both criteria there. Furthermore, I know the state's concerned with the fact that Mr. Walton would have to drive past Mr. French and Mr. Cooper's address to get out to the main road. To that, I would point out they all have no contact orders with each other, so there'd be no reason for Mr. Walton to slow down in front of Mr. Cooper's house. There's also no reason for Mr. Cooper to go down where Mr. Walton lives, and I have that map for you. You'll see 361 North Stockton Ave is where Mr. Walton resides. 249 is where Mr. Cooper resides. I've already provided a map to the state for their review. Your Honor, Mr. Cooper would certainly abide by any condition that you impose on him. His biggest concern is returning home. He's lived in that home for almost 30 years at this point. He lived there previously with his mother, and now I want to say in 2021 was the most recent deed transfer to himself as the sole owner. Additionally, he does have some medical issues. He was diagnosed with SUNCT syndrome. It's SUNCT. I'm no doctor. but there's an issue with it's migraine causing, and it causes some issues, stroke-like issues that he has medications for. Those medications are at his home. He also is diagnosed, reports to me, with COPD, where he does have 2 liters of oxygen that he takes when there's issues that flare up and so on. All of that equipment is also at his home. He understands the gravity of this case. He understands the severity of it. He's abided by all the no contact and all of the conditions that have been imposed on him for over a month now at this point since he's been on release. He has not gone back home. He's asking, Your Honor, to allow him to return home during the pendency of this case so that he can take care of his medical concerns there as well as maintain his residence. And as I mentioned, he would certainly abide by the no contact with Mr. Walton and Mr. French. His biggest concern is just being allowed home.
Ms. Howard, state's position.
Your Honor, I would first note the victim's position is that they are opposed to Mr. Cooper going home. Mr. Cooper, while he's a co-defendant with Mr. French, is the main actor in this quite brutal assault that occurred. There is also a long-standing history between these two, and I understand that there's mutual no contacts all around, but Mr. Mr. Walton lives on the dead-end side of this dead-end road and has to drive out past Mr. Cooper's property to get out. Also, many of the issues between the two over the years, and the court can see that Mr. Cooper has filed for a stalking order against Mr. Walton. Mr. Walton has filed a couple elder abuse petitions and stalking order against Mr. Cooper over the years. There's just been a long-standing kind of feud between these neighbors, and much of the recent conflict, including the one that precipitated the incident, which we're here before the court today, is that Mr. Cooper drives down toward the dead end of the road to Mr. Walton's property to film him, drive by his house unnecessarily, etc. So I'll defer to the court regarding modifying the release. However, I would ask that should Mr. Cooper be allowed to go back home, that he not go past his own driveway further down the dead-end road toward Mr. Walton's house. And I would note Mr. Walton is on the phone, and he has safety concerns. He was quite severely injured in this incident. He had to go to the hospital after, and I'll let him relay to the court any further concerns that he has. Mr. Walton, is there anything you'd like to say to the court?
Yeah, well, first of all, Your Honor, I'd like to bring to your attention, Mr. Cooper was on a no contact order in 2020 and 2021. I saw him at least 20 times during that period. The court neglected to inform me that there was a no contact order. It was from another case he had where he was found with a firearm, and he's a felon, so he's not allowed to have firearms. He had that weapon staged by a window in his driveway in a way that it was ready to be used on somebody at the front door. I also have a non-compliance probation report here from Ken Krause from 2020, where he had received a report from a relative of Mr. Cooper that he had been spotted back at his residence on 9/25 or around then of 2020, and somehow he ended up skating away and he didn't get violated on that probation. But I saw him at least 20 times down here last time he was on a no contact order, and he is not going to abide by it. He's been stalking me for 5 years now. He comes to my house with weapons constantly: guns, knives, crossbows, machetes, sticks, batons, and I'm actually shaking thinking about him coming back to the neighborhood, and I don't want him here. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. He's a danger to anybody around him, and especially me. He's taken no responsibility for his actions, and he's still claiming that he's a victim here, and I cannot see him. That's all I got to say, Your Honor.
Do I have Ms. Bennigan on the phone? Anything else?
Just for the court's information, Mrs. Dunnigan does not reside on Stockton Avenue. She is a caretaker for Mr. Walton's mother, so she just goes there periodically.
Okay.
And if I may, Your
Go
Honor.
ahead, Mr. Bridge.
I do have Mr. French's release agreement where, as part of his conditions, were that because he lives next door to Mr. Cooper, that he's not allowed to go down that turnoff to where Mr. Walton lives. If
And
Your
I'm
Honor's-
sorry, your client is 249 North Stockton?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And I do have that release agreement. It's handwritten for Your Honor. I have that if you'd like to see it.
I can pull it up.
Okay. But if Your Honor is inclined to grant our motion, I've reviewed everything with Mr. Cooper. He would certainly abide by any condition like that Your Honor would impose.
The court, this is difficult because the parties, I have to say, are familiar to the court because of the number of protective order proceedings and other criminal cases involving these same parties. And my concern is that someday these interactions between these folks, somebody's going to end up dead because the tensions are boiling over in this area here. And it does become very problematic where these are neighbors, right? And you have protective orders prohibiting somebody from having contact. However, the court feels very strongly that co-defendants should be treated the same, and I can't rationalize prohibiting one person from being in the residence when the co-defendant who lives just next door is allowed in his residence. And I think co-defendants, again, similarly situated, should have be subject to the same restrictions and be treated the same by the court. The court will therefore modify the condition of the release to mirror the co-defendants in this case, that Mr. Cooper, you are not to have any contact with the persons, Ian Walton, Deanna Dunnigan, or Mr. French, the co-defendant. Okay, no contact means just that, in person, by phone, text messaging, emailing, contact over social media. You are not to, and there's no reason for you to go past your residence at 249 North Stockton Avenue to go down further Stockton Avenue other than your address. So that's no reason that you should venture further down that road other than your own driveway. So that will be a condition of your release. You are not to be in possession of any type of firearm or dangerous weapon. If you have any, those need to be surrendered to a third party or to law enforcement. You are not to have any in your residence. Do you understand that? Mr. Bridge, I do note he was indicted. Do you have a copy of that indictment? Do you want to take care of the arraignment?
I did, and my understanding is we arraigned him in front of
you did?
Benjamin.
Okay. All right, very good. I'm just hoping that could be taken care of.
No, I appreciate it. The only request I would have is I was retained on this case towards the end of June. I did see that his next status, I believe, is towards the end of this month. I would ask if we could push it. I believe Mr. French
has one on August 21st.
And I would
so would that work?
I would ask for that date.
Okay, and since Judge Benjamin has a conflict, so let's just keep them with the same court date on August 21st at 10 o'clock in this courtroom.
Perfect.
They shouldn't have been separated anyway if they're codependents, but that happens. But I think because he didn't have counsel, it was scheduled a little differently to get an update on attorneys. Okay, so Mr. Cooper, you understand the modifications to the release agreement?
Yes, I do.
Now's the time to ask questions, because what I really don't want to do is have future hearings about whether or not somebody was looking at me or driving slowly by the house, or I really don't want to waste my time, because I'm just going to err on the side you violated it and you're going to go back.
100%. I will remain home.
Okay, so just, again, no contact whatsoever. And if you're next to your co-defendant or whatever, he's out in the yard, you go inside. Okay? We're not going to engage at all. None. Okay? Test the limits of this is just going to end up with somebody in jail. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Anything else that needs to be addressed at this time?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mr. Bridge?
Nothing from defense.
Okay, all right, we'll move the court date, and I will enter the order with the modification. And we'll just email that to you, Mr. Bridge.
And I prepared an order.
Oh, did you prepare an order?
I have an
okay.
order.
Yeah, why don't you bring it on up?
And just for the record, it's the same one.
Do
that
whatever
I
he
submitted
says,
to Howard
you
when I filed the motion.
Bitch.
Okay, thank you.
Fucking bitch.
And
Fucking
I'll put
God.
in the other portion that you're not to go on Stockton Road beyond your own driveway. Is that the only modification I'm making to this, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for hearing the case on such short notice.
Thank you.